All right, we knew this was coming. Terence Crawford once again proves that he is the biggest star at Top Rank with a higher average viewership for his show versus Kell Brook than Vasyli Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez had. Slightly lower peak, but a higher average on a card that he carried by himself. He is the biggest star at Top Rank, and Bob Arum seems to hate it. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. Let me introduce you to a concept called founder syndrome. It is, and if it's not called exactly founder syndrome, I believe it's something like founder syndrome. And what that is when you start a business, the owner is the founder, and he has a vision for that business. And because he has this strong vision for this business, the business becomes successful. And because his vision made the business successful, when the environment changes or the market changes, that company has a hard time adjusting to it because everybody working for it has to do what the founder tells them to do, and the founder is still stuck on what made him successful before, not realizing that it is affecting his success moving forward, right? He was successful doing A. Things changed. He still wants to do thing A. Everybody else is saying, no, do something different, founder. Change your ways. And he refuses. That is Bob Arum, I promise you. Because back in the day when there was no internet, back in the day when all you did is have to rely upon the media to get the word to fight fans, when you had when Ring Magazine was really influential, when ESPN, when KO Magazine was really, really influential amongst hardcore boxing fans, that's when Bob Arum was flying, because he could lie yesterday and tell the truth today and wouldn't nobody know because all that stuff was underneath the engine. But that's not the case anymore. Everybody knows the numbers. Everybody sees what's going on. And Bob Arum is making a bloody fool of himself in the latter stages of his career, because nobody else in boxing would do what he does, which is take their number one fighter, their best fighter, and stick him underneath a bush and act like he doesn't exist while publicizing the fighters that he thinks that he wants to be famous. He could be in a boardroom. It's like Bob Arum is in a boardroom talking to people, and he says, oh, well, who are we going to feature here? And he has somebody says, well, I think we should feature Terence Crawford. Why would I feature Terence Crawford? Black fighters don't sell. That's me paraphrasing him. But Bob, they really do. They really do sell. If you look at the big fights and you look at who the big pay-per-view stars are, you'll see that they all involved Black American fighters. So maybe we should treat Terence Crawford like he has the potential to be that. We're not going to do that. You see all these UFC fans, all the UFC fans are over there. They're not watching boxing. I want the UFC fans. I want the UFC fans. The UFC fans don't want you, Bob. The UFC wants Dana White. The UFC fans want to see people get kicked in the face and wrestle with each other. That's the sport that they love. They don't love boxing, Bob. Stop trying to get them. Focus on the boxing fans that love boxing. Black American fight fans love boxing. Mexican American fight fans love boxing. There are European fight fans that love boxing. And the European fight fans that love boxing love all kind of different fighters. They just want to see the best fighter, Bob. They don't want to run with your narrative just because it's your narrative. And that's what's happening with Bob Arum. That's what's happening with Terence Crawford. And that's why you have promoters like Eddie Hearn and Dana White from the UFC lighten into Bob Arum about what he said about Terence Crawford. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it's nothing other than his personal belief about what he, Bob Arum and Bob Arum alone, wants to see happen in the sport of boxing. And he wants to see, in my opinion, the Eastern European fighter be seen as the dominant fighter in the United States so that they can eventually start trying to get the European Americans that are watching UFC to get them back to boxing. My friend, it is never going to happen. Boxing is what boxing is. UFC has their groundwork. They have their fans, and let them have their fans. Let them have their fun. Let's grow boxing with people that love boxing. But that's not what Bob Arum wants to do, and that's why Bob Arum can't see or refuses to admit that Terence Crawford is the biggest thing over there. And let's go over exactly why that's the truth. Now, Teofimo Lopez is supposed to be this big star, right? And I know I've been hard on Teofimo Lopez lately, and I'm going to continue to be because he's obnoxious and he's acting like he doesn't have to fight anybody. He's one of these, a guy that thinks because he was the first guy in his crop of fighters to get a big fight on ESPN, and that somehow now he just doesn't have to be bothered with any of his contemporaries, and he's just a whole nother level of guy. That obnoxiousness is why I'm on Teofimo Lopez. However, Teofimo Lopez in his fight with Richard Comey was on the undercard of Terence Crawford's fight with Egis Kalvanakis. He was on the undercard. Okay, the undercard. His fight before last. This next fight, he goes on between he and Vasyli Lomachenko, who has been pushed harder than any top-ranked fighter since Manny Pacquiao. Easy. He was supposed to be the replacement to Manny Pacquiao in the small weight classes for top rank, and they invested all that money in pushing Terence Crawford. Pushing Vasyli Lomachenko. But nobody bought. And Terence Crawford still maintained being the number one guy. But Teofimo Lopez fights Vasyli Lomachenko, and they have a lower average viewership than Terence Crawford versus Kell Brook. Lower average. Now, some people are going to say, well, the peak was higher. Dude, the peak is only for one moment in time. The average is how many people were watching through all of the commercials that they aired through the entire event. ESPN is interested in the entire event, the entire time slot. They're not interested in just round 5 through 12 of the championship fight. Okay, they're interested in how many people watch throughout so that they can know how to deal with their advertisers and things like that, because they're in there for the money. Okay, so Terence Crawford did a higher average viewership on a card with nobody but himself pretty much, and you had to match up Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez to only get a higher peak. Now, even with the peak, Terence Crawford and Kell Brook only went 4 rounds. So there were still people coming into the fight because it ended early. It ended in 4 rounds. Kind of like Deontay Wilder's numbers suffer when he gets somebody out of there in the first round, right? Numbers take a while to grow. Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez they fought 12 rounds. So of course they're going to have their higher peak because they fought longer. But here's the thing. That was 2 fighters, marquee fighters. Over here, there was 1. My opinion, that means Terence Crawford is the number 1 guy over there, number 1 guy by average. And if he fought somebody decent, and he had somebody if he fought somebody like Josh Taylor on ESPN, it's going to do even better numbers, because they would spend time trying to grow it so that they could sell Josh Taylor, just like top ESPN spent money and they came out with extra money for Teofimo Lopez to make that fight happen. So, dude, the number 1 guy over there is Terence Crawford. But why is this important, dude? Bob Arum is in this battle with Dana White. And Bob Arum said the day before these rankings come out that Bob basically treating Terence Crawford. He says, I've lost enough money on Terence Crawford, to buy a small mansion. Why are you trashing your own fighter, Bob? You're trashing your own fighter. You're trashing your number 1 draw. Doesn't that sound like founder syndrome? Most people that run businesses, when they see their best product and their best product is the one that they can sell, they don't take that product and shove it up and then just, we want this. I really want to sell this one that they don't like as much. So let's just make sure we take everything that they do like off the market. Let's talk down all of the products that they really want to buy and continue to give you this garbage one, or at least the one that they don't want, so that they'll buy it. It's the only option that they have. And that's what Bob Arum has done with Terence Crawford vis-a-vis Teofimo Lopez, or when compared to Teofimo Lopez and Vasyli Lomachenko. He pushes all his efforts towards the media, celebrating these two guys and dismissing anything about Terence Crawford unless it's criticism of Terence Crawford coming from people that want to see Terence Crawford fight Errol Spence. Then they've got plenty to say. Like, Top Rank, PBC is ducking him. PBC is ducking him. They're more than happy to dump on use Terence Crawford to dump on the PBC. But they're not willing to use Terence Crawford to build Top Rank. The building of Top Rank, that's for Josh Taylor. The building of Top Rank's future, that is for Monster Inoue. That is for Tyson Fury. That is for all of those type of guys. It's not for the American inner city kid, right? Because they don't sell according to the founder's beliefs, the beliefs of the founder of Top Rank. And it's absolutely nonsense. And Bob Arum deserves to be dragged, and boxing will be a better place when he retires. I'm not going to wish anything poorly on him or poor health on him. I hope the guy lives a happy life till he's 290. But I hope if he's 89 today, I hope that he gets out of boxing when he turns 88. Okay? I hope that he gets out of boxing a year ago. That's my take on the matter. You let me know yours. And with that, I'm out. Peace.